loves being on top of the ground.
Yeah, he's had a pretty faultless preparation since his first up run there, where I was a bit concerned about him, but it was a heavy track that day, and he's just been a different horse since he's been able to feel his feet hitting the ground, and today's another perfect race for him, really. You'd like to think he could sort of go there and win and bounce out of it, and I think whether he goes on in the prep from after today, I'm not too sure, but it'll give him a lot of confidence going into the autumn, I reckon, this preparation.
He looks like he gets total control again.
Well, I hope so. I mean, he's the sort of horse that you don't really go slow on. He keeps everything pretty happy, and the grey horse may kick up. The horse of Annabelle Newsom's, he does like to sort of get out and lead if he jumps well. So really, I'm prepared for anything. But at the end of the day, sort of with Lindemann, I ride him. I don't sort of ride the race. I ride the race to suit him. So that's how it'll be.
Best of luck.
Cheers, mate.
Race 6, only a small field of 6 to go round here, and the Sincotta Chemist Craven played over 1,800 metres. So Lindemann is the favourite. How short is he now, Tim Ryan?
$1.45, tab.com.au. So he's a firm today, 150 into 145.
And what's been the best back to beat him?
Well, all week it's been El Costello. I probably put up the wrong price Wednesday. I put up $11. There was good money for him then, and he's firmed a bit today, 650 into 6. But he's the one with a different form on the 7-day backup. Barrier 1, he's probably mapped to sit in behind Lindemann. So if Lindemann falls over, he might be the one to pick up the pieces.
This mounting brought to you by Harvey Norman for all you need in furniture, bedding, electrical and technology. So we start with Lindemann, Nash Rawiller and Chris Waller.
Yeah, look, he's just obviously flying at the moment. This race has fallen straight into his lap. There's no doubt about that. He should get control again. The map looks good. He's short. I can make excuses for a few behind him the other day, but I can't tip against him.
I never thought he'd line up this short ever in his career, but here we are. If you've backed him at the short price quote, I'm not going to deter you from him. He's been looking $1 million each time he's stepped out. He's racing with a lot of confidence. He's always one of those horses that's so switched off in the yard, so it's hard to gauge if he's switched on or not, but he's ready to run well.
Bois d'Argent, number 2, Kieran McAvoy for Annabelle and Rob Archibald.
Yeah, he's a lovely old horse. He needed to run there first up, and he should go better here, but I'd suggest when he jumped out of the ground last prep, it was third up, and it might be similar this prep.
I didn't think he looked too bad first up, actually, and didn't have a great deal of room there. That run was always going to bring him on, which it has. Yes, he's probably not at his peak yet, but he's getting there.
Now we go back to the Waller runners, and firstly Kovalika, number 3, Tommy Berry on.
Yeah, it was a horror show the other day. He struck heels, he nearly fell, he got shuffled back. It's just a total forgive there. So it's look, I know he's a hard horse to back with confidence, but if things fall for him here, he's got a definite winning chance.
Yeah, he does. He really does. I thought he was reaching his peak when he stepped out in the Hill Stakes. As you touched on there, Duff, genuine excuses, but there's no reason why he can't run a solid race again today. He stayed on saying it's going to take a lot of beating, but as Tim touched on, if something happens to him, then Kovalika will be right there ready to pounce.
And the next Waller runner is Militarise with Jason Collett.
Very simple. Barrier 1. I thought he'd made a much more forward position there last time, and he went back to, pretty well last. So I think he's actually going very well this prep, and don't sell him short.
He could make excuses for him. No excuses from the yard. The way he's been presenting has been outstanding. He's been at the top of his game for a few runs now, so looking as good as ever.
Democracy Manifest. Tyler Schiller on for Chris.
Timing right to improve, but I just don't think he's an 1,800 metre weight for age horse.
I'm adamant his parades have been great. I've been talking him up from the yard every time I see him because he's just a big strapping gelding looking great. I hope he runs up to his looks, and I hope he can run better than what we've seen from him.
Okay, and here's the runner that could stop Chris Waller in this race. It's El Costello. Chad Schofield on for Joe Pride.
Yeah, well, he's running the right races, hasn't he? Theo Marks, Epsom, King Charles, more like his distance range today, and he's more switched on after that long spell. So if he's ever going to do anything, this is a race he could improve in. So a bit of a fork in the road for him here.
The run last Saturday, has really knocked the edge off him. His first two runs he was quite settled, and then last week he was really up on the toe. It was probably the atmosphere. There's a lot going on here in the yard. Very switched off today, which is a really good sign for him, because he's a horse that used to, this time last year when he was winning the Spring Champ Stakes, he was up on the toe, sweating up and doing a lot wrong. So completely different horse.
Okay, Corey, it looks Lindeman's race. Is it simply a case of him dominating here?
I don't think they'll give it to him. I think Kieran McAvoy or Bardazon will put a little bit of pressure on him. Nash has drawn the 2, so Kieran's definitely outside him. But I think if they try and slacken off the speed, Bardazon will take it up. And I just think it makes the race for Militarise. He'll sit back off him and just pick him up late, I think. I thought his run last time out was absolutely superb. He run through the line terrific. Never got a chance to extend. But, yeah, he just looks on song.
So you think they can upset Lindeman here?
I think so.
All right. Well, Joe Pride's hoping to do it with his horse, El Costello. It's possible.
Yeah, it certainly is. So he has disappointed me a touch, particularly the last 2 starts in very strong company. But I got to say, his behaviours today definitely looks to be a bit better. He's a pretty rowdy colt, and last week was pretty hectic, big crowd and everything else. He seems a lot calmer this week, so it's an important run for him. He needs to do something today to show us that he's where we're hoping he would be and where he was 12 months ago when he won the Spring Champion.
Yeah, so disappointing because you thought he was going a lot better?
Yeah. Look, I mean, it's not an easy transition to make. 3-year-old stakes company, Group 1, albeit into the best weight for age horses in Australia. But today's a slight step down, so I think the horse is in good shape, and I'd be disappointed if he didn't run well.
And then you'd be confident about Attica later on?
Yes, he's really good. I'm just hoping he can sort of run on today. But the horse is in great shape. Really pleased with him.
Good luck, Joe.
Thank you.
Joe Pride, El Costello and Attica, he's 2 runners here. So can El Costello bounce back? It's been a long 12 months for El Costello. A horse that won on this day last year. He won the Spring Champion Stakes and looking a real star of the future. But he had 12 months off, and he's had those 3 runs back from a spill. Today will be start number 4 as he heads out down through the tunnel. The last horse out through the tunnel. Chantel Buckley's pick of the yard.
I am not going against Lindeman. I know he's extremely short, and I really don't like tipping horses at that price, but I just cannot go around him. He was by far the best in the yard once again. If I was looking for something to maybe finish in a second spot, maybe stablemate Kovalika could run better than he did last start.
1, 4, 3 and 7. The head says you have to probably tip Lindeman here, and the heart says I want to back Militarise, but I can't bring myself to it. So sit back and watch here for me. 1, 4, 3 and 7. Lindeman to beat Militarise, who I'm convinced is going well. Kovalika, well, he's that type of horse. If things fall into place for him, he could do it. I don't know whether there's a lot between these 3 stablemates other than pattern of racing. And best of the rest is El Costello. He's got a bit of spark about him today. I saw him kicking up and squealing there just before the jockey got on. So maybe improvement there. 1, 4, 3 and 7. The punters don't care. $1.45, Tim.
Yeah, he's a firm today. $1.50 into $1.45. It's not huge money. It's more a reflection of the fact that they don't want to back anything really to beat him. The second pick, El Costello, firms a little bit, but yeah, 150 into 145. And to give you an indication, we're not even holding half as much on Lindeman at the 145 as what we held on Point and Shoot earlier in the day. So he was our lay of the day. We were keen to push him. We sat top odds all day, and we got plenty out of Point and Shoot. It's not huge money for Lindeman that sees him firm, 150 into 145, but just that lack of interest from the others. The big firm to beat him from Wednesday has been El Costello, as much as $11 in. I was kind of pretty quick to realise I made a bit of an error there, and the fact that he's not the stablemate, he's the one with the different form, he's more likely to attract interest. The fact he's got a 7-day backup and barrier 1 helps too. So he's been 11 into $6.50, 7 into $6.50 today. So he looks like he'll run the second pick. And there's not $1 for Militarize or Kovalika stablemates to the favourite. They're always a tough sell when you've got a hot short price favourite. The stablemates are always tough sells. $7.50 about the third pick there. Militarize actually now into second pick. El Costello just getting out a little bit now. El Costello now out to $8. So he's just blown a little bit with the favourite firming now into $1.40. So money for El Costello has dried up. Lindeman's into $1.40. Militarized stays a $7.50 chance. He's out from 7 this morning. Kovalika's an $8 chance. He's out from 7 as well this morning. And the two roughies, Bois d'Argent 23 and Democracy Manifest. No real interest in them at those quotes. So the favourite firming 145 into 140, in from 150 this morning. And just checking that hold in comparison to point and shoot, just over half now the money that we held on point and shoot. So again, it's not huge money. It's around about 70% of the total tab hold. They just don't really want to back anything to beat the favourite.
Look at that start, the 1800. We're on a bend, so they're turning from the starting position. They'll be down the long back straight here at Randwick after about a couple of 100 metres. Only a small field here, though. It won't matter too much with 6 runners, and we know where Lindeman's going to be. What a spring it's been. He resumed in the Wing Stakes. It was a heavy 10, but there were still thoughts, is it all over for Lindeman? Well, he was straight back onto a good 4 the next start, and he won the challenge for beating a horse called Sedelius. And then he was narrowly beaten by Fangirl in the 7 Stakes. Chris Wallace still can't believe he got beaten that day. He thought he lasted to beat Fangirl, and then he came out and won the Hill Stakes, beating Attrition, and he lines up here today as an odds-on favourite, and if successful, this spring would have netted him just under $1.9 million in those 4 starts. He's earned an incredible amount of money, and he hasn't won a big feature. He's won a challenge for the Hill Stakes and run second in the 7 Stakes, but all worth a lot of money. El Costello's about to go in. What price Lindeman now?
Still 140. He may not start that price. He might even start short of that. 140 is under sufferance. Just cannot lay anything else again. Militarized $7.50. Now out to $8 Militarized. $8 Kovalika and El Costello. 135 Lindeman. He did firm. So more money for Lindeman late. 135. He'll start very, very short here.
Bois d'Argent and El Costello versus the Waller 4 of Democracy Manifest, Militarized Kovalika, and the long odds-on favourite, Lindeman. We've only got one out, and that's Kovalika. Darren Flindell with a call of the Craven plate.
Winds up the field of 6. In the Craven plate, Lindeman a raging favourite. They're all set now, ready to run, and they're racing. Lindeman jump well. Looks as though he'll take the lead. And El Costello from the inside barrier is going to park in second early. Clear then from Bois d'Argent Militarized. A couple off to Democracy Manifest. And Kovalik has been taken back to last. And already he's about 8 or 9 lengths off the lead as Lindeman does his thing and rolls along in the lead of the 1400 metres. Out by 2.5 to El Costello. He won the Spring Champion Stakes this time last year. And he's chasing the hot favourite today. 2 off to Bois d'Argent, 1.5 lengths to 2 lengths to Militarize, a gap then to Democracy Manifest, and Kovalika is still back last. I'd say the margin's still about 9 lengths first to last, and Lindeman, it's been a great spring for him, and he's looking for another 430,000 in prize money today. 1,000 to go, Lindeman 2 in front, to El Costello travelling kindly in second, then came Bois d'Argent from Militarize. Kovalika just starting to improve his position a little bit, and gets 3/4 of a length up on Democracy Manifest. So about 7 covers the field now. Lindeman loafing along by a length to El Costello. 2 off to Bois d'Argent. 1.5 Militarise. 3/4 the outside now Kovalika. And Democracy Manifest, the outsider of the field, is last of all. So Lindeman in front. Now El Costello gets moving on the outside, and Chad Schofield wants to try and rattle the cage of Lindeman, but he's cruising in the lead coming up the rise. Now he gives him a bit of rain, Lindeman. Lindemann, and he raced 2.5 clear from El Costello. Is in second position. Militarizer's picking up now. Kovalika making some headway. But what a spring it's been for Lindemann. 3 lengths clear with 50 metres to go. And Lindemann cracks the $4 million mark. Militarized doing his best work. Late grab second. Photo third. Kovalika lunging at El Costello. At a gap to Bois de Jean and Democracy Manifest.
Back-to-back Craven plates for Lindemann. Lindemann, Chris Waller and Nashua are a tick under $1.9 million just this spring, courtesy of wins in the Chelmsford, the Hill Stakes and the Craven Plate, runner-up in the $1 million 7 Stakes. After flopping on a heavy track first up, he's done nothing wrong since that day. And we're just waiting to see whether Chris has trained the trifecta here with Militarized, and then you had El Costello was hanging on for a placing. We're just going to see another shot of that. But in isolation, it's Lindemann too good for them, and his good old mate Nash giving him an easy time.
Yeah, he's a terrific horse. He's had a great, just the money these good horses can earn at this time of year is just astronomical when they're placed like this. He just picks his mark. $2 million race last time, and 750 today, and gets the job done. So he's Militarized has battled on okay. I think maybe Kovalika has run third there, and I like to look. They had a crack with El Costello. They tried to soften him up before the turn and just rattle the cage, as Darren said. It was worth a crack, but it didn't work. He's just going too well, this horse.
He is going too well, Ronnie, and the way Nash rides him with such confidence. He did jump well. Bois de Jean was probably a fraction slow away. I thought he might have been outside him to put a little bit more pressure on him. But like you said, he was there to be beaten, but they're just not good enough to beat him.
1, 4, 3 and 7. Kovalika has run third. El Costello fourth. They've run 1:48.96, home in 35.19. That is the Craven Plate. Up next will be race number 7, and that is the Calendar Presnell.
Welcome back to Doomben for race 5.